Hello everyone, my name's Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. Just imagine this. What if you can learn AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform without paying for the services that you are using, without creating an account with these cloud platforms, and most importantly, without sharing your credit card information? Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes. In today's video, I'll show you how you can emulate these cloud providers so that you don't have to create an account with them and you can run everything on your local machine. All that you need is just Docker running on your machine. That's it. Now you might have this question, but Abhishek, why is this important? I can just create an account with cloud. The problem today is that now if you go 3 years or 4 years before, when you create an account with cloud, you get 1 year free trial on AWS, Azure, and GCP. But the problem today, you only get $100 of free credits. You will end up using these $100 free credits in no time. And then your cloud account moves to pay as you go model. So if you use some services, either your account will be suspended or you will be billed on your credit card. This is a reason why a lot of people today, they back out learning cloud. They just watch some theory videos, but when it comes to practicals, they skip the practical part. The emulation that we are going to learn today. So you can run all those AWS commands. You can create all those AWS services, but everything is running on your local machine. Not only AWS, Azure and GCP as well. Let me show you an example through a whiteboard, so that you can understand better. And then I will show you the things practically. But before we go there, let me tell you, this is very, very important, especially if you are practicing cloud or if you're in the state of learning any cloud platform. Perfect. Without any further delay, let's head to the whiteboard. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're learning EKS. You're watching a video on YouTube, maybe video from a channel. You understood the theory part. You learned what is EKS. Now the video also has the practical part, the demo part, where the tutor explained how to create EKS cluster, how to create a pod within the EKS cluster, how to deploy a service, and how to manage the cluster. Now, obviously, you want to practice this. You learn the theory. Only if you practice, you will be confident about EKS. Now, how do you achieve this? There are two ways. One, the obvious thing, you create an account with AWS. You will get some free credits from AWS. You will spin up EKS cluster and you will start learning these things. But the problem here is that if you have this EKS cluster running for 3 to 4 days, all your free credits are expired because AWS only gives you $100 of free credits. Once you expire the credits, your AWS account moves to pay as you go model. Basically, now when you want to learn S3 bucket, EBS volumes, or Lambda functions, maybe down the line, you will be charged for creating these services. Or you might want to suspend this account and create a new account. So this is a problem. What we are going to learn today is the other way where we will emulate these cloud providers, AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. What is emulation? Emulation is basically mocking the cloud providers. What happens when you mock the cloud providers? So when you mock it, all the APIs run on your local machine. So now when you go ahead and let's say you run this command, AWS EKS create cluster, the cluster is created, but the cluster is created on your local machine. It will use the resources on your local machine, not on the AWS platform. So you will not be charged by AWS. But Abhishek, is the response exactly similar to response that we get from EKS? Yes, response is exactly similar. Even, trust me, you will not even understand if you are running these services on AWS or on your local machine. That is the power of mocking. Mocking is not a new concept. If you're into development, developers usually mock databases, they mock different types of services, even web servers, so that you don't have to spin up these services on their cloud platform or anywhere else. We are going to apply the same concept for cloud platforms today. Abhishek, are there so many projects? Not really. There are very less projects. There is a project called Local Stack. I've tried this project in the past, but it is very heavy. So I thought, and this is also an enterprise platform. So I did not bother about talking it. But now I came across an open source project called Floci. Now this is an open source project. This is absolutely free and there are no conditions to it. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. I recently explored the project. So I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Now let me show you how to use Floci. So simple, just head to their website. So you can see here AWS, Azure and GCP. They have three different pages. We'll start with AWS. So scroll down. You have commands here to get started with AWS, or you can just go up, click on get started. So they have the homebrew command. Because I'm using Mac, I'll run this brew install. If you're using Windows, go to PowerShell and run this command. So what does this do? This will install APIs on the local machine. So this will mock everything, one single command. Control R, brew, or you can just copy the command here and paste it. It will not take much time because it is only emulating the APIs, but it is not creating all the service on your local machine. It says I already have Floci, which is fine. Now the next thing is to run Floci start. Perfect. If you want to run Azure, then instead of running Floci start, you just have to do Floci AZ start. Or if you want to do GCP, just go to the get started. Instead of Floci start, just run in the CLA part Floci GCP start. Cool. We'll go back to AWS. I'll show you by creating an S3 bucket first. Okay. So how to create an S3 bucket? We will use the same command. But before that, we have to set up AWS environment variables. So you can just say eval Floci env. So this will set up AWS environment variables for us. What happens if you don't run this command? Be careful, you have to run it. Otherwise, when you run AWS S3 MB for make bucket and followed by, my bad. So if you run AWS S3 MB followed by name of the bucket, there is a possibility the bucket is created on your actual AWS account. Maybe you have set up the account in the past and your AWS CLI is pointing to it. So there is a possibility the command that you run here is created on the AWS account. So definitely run this command eval floci env. Now I'll just do this my bucket 123. Okay, let's see what happens. There you go. Make bucket, bucket is created. I can even verify AWS S3 LS. There you go. So my bucket 123 is the name of the bucket that is created. In fact, we can upload file to this bucket as well. So there is this command. I'll just copy it and paste it here. Upload hello floci txt to my bucket. Okay, I did not change the name of the bucket, but anyways, now this file is uploaded to my bucket. I can also read it. So I'll quickly read it and show it to you. Same AWS commands. Why pay for S3 when Floci is free? Right? Similarly, we can create EKS cluster as well, but make sure you have Docker running. How do you do that? AWS EKS create cluster. I hope I'm providing the right details. AWS EKS create cluster -- name. Let's provide the name of the cluster. I will say demo Floci. Okay, so the command is wrong. Let's go to the documentation. Here I have setup for EKS as well. First, I'll set up the EKS endpoints. Okay, we forgot to do this. So AWS endpoint localhost 4566, AWS default region US East 1, AWS key ID test, and AWS secret access key is also test. Perfect. So let me run this again. Cool. Now let's go ahead, create the cluster and try. AWS EKS create cluster. --name dev cluster. I'm providing a dummy role ARN and I'm providing a dummy VPC configuration as well. Okay, it says dev cluster already exists on my local machine. I'll quickly change it to dev cluster 1. Now, unlike on AWS, this will not take 30 minutes or 40 minutes. This will be done in few seconds of time. Why? Because local Kubernetes cluster is created. Abhishek, which cluster is created locally? It is creating K3s cluster locally. I've already checked. It is using K3s. Now we can point this EKS cluster, like we can point the kube config, AWS EKS update kube config -- name dev cluster 1. And now if I do kubectl get pods or kubectl get nodes, you can see this is the local Kubernetes cluster, but you are using EKS commands. You are using AWS command, you are using the EKS command to fetch the kube config, and then the kubectl is pointing to that local cluster. This way you can learn 50 different services on AWS. So 47 services are supported, KMS is supported, SQS is supported, secret manager is supported, event bridge, and similarly on AWS, Azure, multiple services are supported. Even on GCP, multiple services are supported. Okay, in GCP at the moment, only 7 services are supported. But the best part is that this is an open source project. So if we keep supporting this project, they will add more services to it, right? Of course, there is an alternative. As I told you, local stack is an enterprise alternative. Maybe if you're doing this within your organization, probably your DevOps team want to use this concept, you can head to local stack and you can see, probably you can purchase license or you can take subscription of it. Abhishek, what will be the advantage if we take the subscription as a DevOps team? See, maybe you're doing some proof of concept. Instead of creating a dev AWS cluster, development AWS cluster, you can probably try local stack or Floci. Opportunities are endless. So you can go ahead, search for Floci, right? Just search for Floci, you will find the website, or you can also look for their GitHub repository. So this is their GitHub repository. On the GitHub repository, they have complete details in the README file. Also, they have good number of stats. So I hope the project will keep up. Let's hope for the best, because mocking is very useful for developers. As DevOps engineers, it is good if we also have a mocking environment. Developers mock databases, developers mock messaging queues. Why not as DevOps and cloud engineers, we mock the cloud platforms? Perfect. So I hope you found the video informative. Let me know if you have any questions. Honestly, even I'm exploring the mocking very recently. So if you have any questions and let's say I don't know the answer, I'll go back, do a research and get back to you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you all in the next one. Take care.